So these skates look a bit different to the average skate you see out there. And with that different look, they become a bit more unpredictable. Who knows what they're going to be like to skate? Well, in this video, I'm going to try to tell you some stuff I think you should know before you buy them and help you know what to expect if you do end up getting them. So despite this skate having everything every other skate has on the market, you know, a cuff, a sole plate, it looks very different. And I would even go as far to say as it looks the most like a shoe out of any skate in the aggressive scene. If you've ever looked around in the rec scene for skates, you'll notice that most of them are a soft boot, which is like that's not a piece of plastic. It's usually like some kind of material. And that's because it's a better for fit to have a skate like that. Fabric will adjust a lot better to your feet than a piece of plastic will. And that came across in these as well. Now this is carbon and leather and stuff in it, so it's not quite the same. But these were quite comfortable. I had no pressure points around the toes, all around the like toe box area. It felt great. And I think if you have a wider foot, you should be pretty good with this. These are a US size 11 and I'm usually a US 10 and a half. And they didn't feel too big, which I'm surprised about. And I'm seeing the centimeter here that I don't think I would size down. I think that this is good for me. But before I go ahead and say that these are very comfortable, I did have a lot of comfort issues with the cuff and the ankle. These have the lowest feeling support around my ankle out of any skate I've skated. Just the cuff itself feels really low down on my ankle. And it actually gave me pressure points the whole way around my ankle in multiple places. It was very uncomfortable. Even just standing there, just standing in my skates, they were digging into me. And it wasn't fun at all. Now I could, like I usually do, if I'm actually out skating, doing grinds and stuff, I can kind of tune that out. But it wasn't fun, and I wasn't going to enjoy having that. I could see it giving me some really bad blisters very quickly. Now, these are heat moldable skates, and I did actually heat mold them before I even went out. And once again, it didn't make any difference, I swear. I don't know what's wrong with me, but heat molding has never helped me. Yeah, it's worth noting that you can heat mold these skates if you get them, which can add some benefits to comfort. I did ask around about the ankle pressure points, and it seems to be pretty common that happens to a lot of people. It's just something you got to break through. I can see that being a very painful break-in that will be kind of hard to push through. So I think you should definitely know about that if you have that ankle pain, you can get through it, but it's probably not going to be fun. An interesting point though is when I compare the cuff height to my like go-to skates right now, the them 909s. The cuff height is very, very similar. It seems like the identical height. It's just the liner that's higher, so I don't know, it's weird. That was a big put off for me for wanting these to become my full-time skate. But this low ankle feel did have some benefits, especially when it came to groove tricks. When I was doing like royales and stuff, it was an instant adjustment. Usually it's a bit of break-in on a new skate, especially a new cuff height and stuff to get groove tricks back. But they were very easy to pick up. They made me want to do grinds, that's pretty much it. They really made me just go towards the rail and skate the rail. They're like really, really dialed in on grinds. They have this massive sole plate, which I think calls me over there, and just the low ankle. I think, yeah, these are grind machines. If you want to do grinds, and that's all you care about, you just want to do grinds, these are going to be excellent for that. They're made for the grinder blader. Now for me, I didn't really enjoy having this massive sole plate. I found it quite big and clunky. I was like tripping up when I was just turning around and skating around for a bit. And with the low ankle, like I said, it was quite uncomfortable, which made it not too fun to skate. And I was trying to skate the park like I normally would, like, you know, going to like the ramps and like doing some stalls and just something different. But it wasn't that fun. And it made me steer towards the rail. And when I was skating the rail, it made the rail a lot more fun. I've had so much confidence in my grinds. I could see if this became a main skate setup, I would be so confident in all my sole tricks, man. Like all of them. Switch and regular, just like my old anti-rocker days. This is a really, really safe grinder skate. I've skated this skate years ago, back in my anti-rocker days. And I remember the sole plate being very fast and feeling so good. And I absolutely loved it and was jealous of it back when I skated Razor SLs. But now when I'm skating this, and the few times I skated it, this was the slowest feeling sole plate. Even with the slow sole plate, it still was very fun to do grinds. But yeah, it wasn't fun. It reminded me of like the Aeons. I think they just need to break in though, so that's another thing to take note of. You're gonna have to break the sole plate in as well as the ankle area, I guess, or adjust your ankle. But as fun as all the grinding was in these, that kind of skating is not for me these days. So that's kind of made me steer away from these skates. Like I was even just trying to do stalls outside of the mini, and I was getting like weird half locks, like because the sole plate's so big. And I'm used to like a much smaller sole plate. So I would like kind of like get just on the sole plate, and then it's just like all the pressure to your ankle. It was not a good feeling. I don't like it. That is probably the most important note about these skates, though, is that they are made for grinding, and like 99% of all rollerblades out there who only want to do grinds, these are going to be great for you. But if you're that small percentage of people that want to take it away from just grinds, and try something else a bit different, like maybe some vert or some like air tricks, just something not grind related, then these probably aren't going to be so much for you. Another good thing I noticed was on my roll to the park, the first time I'm ever in these, they felt very fast, which seems to be a common thing that I noticed about trying new skates. Every time I get them, they feel fast. I don't know if that's me like adjusting to like the heel height or something, but I don't know. It could be down to the fact that these are carbon. This is the first ever carbon skate I've skated aggressive, or probably ever actually, now that I think about it. But I don't know. It wasn't that much of a difference skating the park once I was there. It was pretty standard. I don't think the carbon gave it any big advantage. And I'm definitely not sold on the fact that we need carbon aggressive skates. I think carbon really shines best when you're skating like a big wheel. So if you're planning on like maybe having like a big wheel frame, like something like 80 mil or something that you're going to put on as well as like an aggressive setup, then maybe go for the carbon. But other than that, I think you'd be fine with the carbon free, honestly. Save the money. But I don't know. I could be completely wrong there. But if you look at like, that recent video with for wizard skating, right? The new Brain Dead Them Wizard collab. If you see how them skates are kind of straining under that big frame in the promo, I noticed that. And that shows you that you probably need a carbon skate. That's where I think it stands out the most. But anyway, that's completely unrelated. You think the fact that they feel fast would make them good for like not just doing grinds. But I don't know, they just really steered me back to grinds. All I wanted to do was grinds and nothing else. Everything else, it felt wrong to do on these. Like whether that was skating around the bowl, or just rolling on the vert, just anything like that. It just didn't feel right on these. It's like I had to go to the rail. There's something you should definitely know and probably think about whenever you're buying skates is whether or not that company treats their riders well. Now, USD is owned by Powerslide, and Powerslide is very good, at least of what we see it, treating their riders. There are very good royalties involved with pro skates now. They're up to date with like the standard that them is set pretty much. And all their pros are on like a salary. So they're looked after, which is good. So you don't have to feel bad about liking this skate like some other skates out there. Razors. Overall though, the build quality of these skates is excellent. I think it's the best I've seen out of USD and Powerslide. So you definitely get your money's worth for that carbon. I don't know if the carbon frees are like that, but like the buckle was very premium. There's no weird things happening. Like I've talked in the past about other USD skates I've gotten with. It's just like, it seems like there's no quality control. There's definitely some quality control in this, and they're built very well. If you haven't noticed though, I'm definitely not sold on them. They're not going to be my go-to now. I'm already going to move on. It's going to be impossible to beat my 909s. I'm telling you. I just much prefer the 909 setup because it's not too grind heavy like those feel to me, and it's a bit more comfortable than that. And I don't think it'll be worth me going through the break-in period for those. Just what I saw at the start, they're just not for me. But they're probably for you. They're definitely for you. If you like doing grinds, you want a skate that looks like a shoe, you don't mind a long break-in, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Massive thank you to the person who hooked me up with these. I didn't have to buy them, which was very helpful. I want to pass it on though, so I'm going to give these away to someone who needs them. So if you're a size US 11, make sure you join my next stream on twitch.tv/buzzcutbrand. I'm going to do a little competition and get them to someone who needs some new skates. So I'd love to see you there. But if you want to see me skate them and see my actual first impressions as they happened and the fun and like difficulties I had, you should watch this video here and yeah, join me live. And thank you for watching.